Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be talking why I've been away for so long and what happened in the company I was working for, which was EMIRATES Aviation Company. So I'll try to do this with as little edits and cuts as I can, but I have to be concise, so let's do this by parts. To start this video, I want to first clarify that I'm in no way slamming the company or anything like that. I don't want this to be a defamatory video. I just want this to be a clarifying one, explaining the reasons why I left Emirates. So as everyone out there knows, COVID-19 has had a massive impact on the global economy, and the aviation industry is not an exception. It was one of the most affected industries, and major cuts needed to be made, which was obviously expected. At the beginning, Emirates tried their best not to fire anyone and even made reassurances that their staff was their priority. But once everything started to become longer and the planes started settling in, and more restrictions were being added to more countries, they had to face the reality, which was they had to start cutting off their workforce. And so it began there. That wasn't the time when I left. It was just the beginning of a lot of people losing their jobs. Now, despite all of this being expected, and only people who weren't really looking out for the state of the world or weren't watching the news would come as a surprise, all of these redundancies and everything. Even so, I think for my personal experience that the way it was made was very abrupt, and when they started sending emails for the first batch of people to be made redundant, it was in the late evening, and it was scheduled for the day after, so it didn't give a lot of time for people to prepare mentally, physically, and everything else. So it came as a bit of a shock to some people. Mind you that most people who go to Emirates, they leave their home country with no family, no friends, nothing, to go and work in Dubai to try and find a better life. So for those people, especially the ones that have been in the company for long and the youngest ones who just came first time living away from their parents, it was a bit of a shock. After the first batch of people was made redundant, it started a wave of tension, and every group that I had on the crew was, when will I get the email, or will I get the email? That was the biggest question, which basically, if you got the email, you had to present yourself in college, the Emirates College, where you basically were instructed, and then you would get an explanation of your benefits and what you were entitled to, and you would let go. As I said, this was to be expected, and although it was to be expected, it was a disappointment to many people. From my personal situation, while all of this was going on, I got the sad news that my grandmother passed away. So basically I was put into a horrible situation, which was to travel back to my country knowing that I could lose my job for it, or to stay and not be with my family in their time of need. So I had to make an awful decision, but thank God I chose to go back in one of the few flights left and stay with my family. And it turned out to be the best decision, because you should always choose the people that you respect, that you love, and that always taking care of you. and you should be always prepared to take care of them. So yeah, so I went back to my country, although it was not recommended by the government or my company. Once I arrived to Portugal, I immediately made it my priority to get into contact with the appropriate channels at Emirates and letting them know where I was and my decision and everything that was going on with my family. They reacted as I suspected, with a lot of questions, questioning my motives, questioning my decision. And I don't blame them, to be honest. It's only normal in a big company that you have to look out for yourself for the benefit of the company. But in that situation, I was looking out for the benefit of the people close to me and myself. So, as I say, I did what I had to do. So I had no regrets at that point. And they started asking me for certificates of that, things that I didn't have at the moment, and it would take a lot of time to arrange them. And I decided that to prevent what was coming, and as well for my own sanity, I quit my job at Emirates, which was a very good job while I had it. It didn't last long because of the pandemic, but I'm very appreciative of having done this job and traveling so much, and a lot of big things happened in my life there. So, despite this being a difficult time and now being unemployed in this state of madness and pandemic and everything, I feel like I've done the correct decision, and I would do it the same way as I've done it over and over again. So I think what people need to realize here is this is a very big company. They have a lot of employees. They can't be aware and they can't look out for every single little employee. So basically you have to think of yourself more of like a number and not as a person, because that's the way they think of you. So when they fire you, when that happens because of need, economical needs, it's not a personal thing. It's just a economical, statistical thing. So that's why people have to be calm in this time of a lot of instability. At the end, in life, you always decide how you want to be defined. So you can't let a company, a job, or anyone else define you. You define yourself. So that's my message to you guys. Furthermore, on this channel, I will continue my journey, my life journey basically, and now pursuing my dream, which is to become a ski instructor. I'll be going to Austria in about a month, 2 months, and I'll there do my exams to become a ski instructor, which was my biggest dream and the biggest reason why I took the job in the first place. So that's what I'm going to do. So yes, keep in touch, subscribe, like, do whatever you want and you feel like, and more videos will come. I'll try to make them more often, but until I get to the school, it's gonna be more, I'm gonna try to think of more imaginative ideas. Thank you guys, see you on the next one.